It was actually kind of a big day in the energy patch today, as ExxonMobil, Chevron, British Petroleum, and Shell America's CEOs went to Capitol Hill virtually and took heat from US senators and congresspeople, our elected officials. However, nothing crazy happened. Nothing crazy happened. As a matter of fact, ExxonMobil stock poked up as the day went on. Schlumberger rallied into the close. And we're not surprised by this. We're expecting these stocks to continue doing well and facts and fundamentals to remain on our side. And we don't really care, what else comes out, because we understand it's just noise. We have spent the time and energy to understand the complex, but only kind of complex, energy situations out there. We've even taken the time and energy to analyze the long-term energy picture, the magnificence of a company like Tesla, and what ExxonMobil is doing to possibly exist in that future. Who knows? We're getting down into the details of what's being said, even by people like Elon Musk, who say things like airplanes and rockets are likely going to take, if ever, a long time to get electric because they need that propulsion. Now, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a scientist, but I understand what propulsion is. That is the combustion event, the forces that are flowing all over the place like that. And I can see why airplanes and rockets would need that and not as much electric cars, which are going flat. So just things to think about, just trying to highlight how kind of we're with the first level kind of thinking we're having here. And let's dive into what happened today. Overnight, the price per barrel of oil was down well over 2% after a day where it was up or down 2% yesterday. That would have made two back-to-back days, getting real close to that $80 floor level that we've defined and speculated is the floor. However, we finished the day in the green. And in my opinion, that tells us everything we need to know. This is all noise and BS around higher than expected inventories, which, as we said yesterday, do not matter. Okay? What matters is actual consumption, actual demand higher than production, and macro events like today, the infrastructure package, getting some movement. Now, I have my problems with it. Everyone I've talked to that works in business says they can't get the parts they need. There's obvious supply chain issues. There's obvious labor issues. I don't know where the government is going to get all this labor and all this supply, but they say they're going to get it. Regardless, what are they going to do? They're going to build roads. They're going to build bridges. They're going to push electronic vehicles, which, guess what, use a whole lot of oil. Do they use plastic parts? Oil. Do they use tires? Oil. Do they drive on roads? A ton of oil, actually. So, infrastructure is very bullish oil. We've got a situation right now where demand is stronger than consumption. So you throw in additional demand into that picture, you're going to have a bit of an issue. In my opinion, it's no coincidence that the energy questioning occurs on the same day as the infrastructure package, because they know that the price per barrel of oil is going to continue to go up. They want to shift the blame, they being Washington, D.C., want to shift the blame from themselves. Remember, Biden day one, clear moronic idiot. Excuse me, but that's what this situation is. This is a really dumb decision. He didn't need to do it, but he did it on day one. Again, as the saying goes, go woke, go broke. Day one closes the Keystone XL pipeline for no reason except to increase the price of oil. In addition, limits drilling on federal land. Now, we don't need to get into it, but we all acknowledge, as we said at the beginning of the video, that the energy transition is going to occur. We can either have a smooth transition in which fewer people get hurt, or a rougher transition in which more people get hurt. And the current administration has opted for the rougher transition. Doesn't matter to us. We don't care. We don't make the decisions here. We just profit from them. And that's what we're doing here. They've elected the rough path. So we're going to, I guess, make money. So, as we said, U.S. producers don't want to increase production. They have that hostile government. They can't drill on federal lands. There's no Keystone XL pipeline. And there's a clear transition to renewable energy. So why increase funding for increased production when that production isn't going to be very long term? They'd rather return that cash to themselves, aka the shareholders, aka us. In addition, OPEC has reiterated on multiple instances that they're very comfortable with prices continuing to increase. And their last meeting was the shortest meeting ever on record. Think about that. Shortest meeting ever on record, and have since then said they're very comfortable with prices rising. AKA, they're not increasing production. AKA, prices are going to continue to rise because we've got all this demand currently existing, outpacing supply. We're doing things like the infrastructure package, adding to demand. The global economy is continuing to recover and reopening, adding to demand. And we don't need to worry about a single day's inventory picture. That was the message of yesterday. The market was down like 2%. Schlumberger stock was down like 5%. Now it's up 2%. Probably going to have another good day tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. It should definitely recover that 5% off of inventory data, which, as we said, doesn't matter. And we have yet again laid out the case that I will happily take challenge on as to why it doesn't matter. So I hope that makes the picture clear on energy. I think things are bullish. We're just getting an infrastructure package. I don't know if it's necessarily bullish for the economy. I'm very concerned about the inflation picture, and I think this infrastructure situation is going to add to the inflation picture, like, quite dramatically. I think it's shocking that on a hot economy with a labor shortage, not a labor glut. Now we've got an unemployment problem, right? A labor shortage and a supply chain shortage, that people would think it's a good idea to exacerbate all of those problems. Every single one of the problems that we're facing is being exacerbated by this package. And there's no crisis that this package solves. Honestly, there isn't. Maybe there's a dam that needs to be fixed. And I actually know that there are dams that, they break down a lot and it has a meaningful impact on US GDP. But besides that, there are better times for this. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, energy remains good, and we're sticking in the trade. So we'll see what happens. And until next time, peace out.